Well, today I will be informing you guys on a little bit about tobacco. It was going to be spiritual sweets, but due to lack of credible information, I had to narrow down my topic. So, when we think of cigarettes, we think of tobacco. What is it about tobacco that makes it so addicting, popular, and wants to use it? It's probably the enormous amounts of the ever-addicting drug that we know as nicotine that clutches all unsuspecting users in its grasp. But there's some tobacco plants while being grown, some cigarettes, not use it personally. Three main points. I'll tell you a little bit about the history of tobacco, then we're going to talk about how it's grown and harvested, and also some of the health risks that using it may pose. Okay, first, the history of tobacco. It's believed that tobacco began growing in the Americas about 6,000 BC, quite a long time ago. Tobacco is a plant that grows natively in North and South America. And it's in, funny enough, the same family as potato, pepper, and poisonous nightshade plant, which is actually a very deadly plant. The seed of tobacco is very small. A 1 ounce sample of tobacco can contain up to 300,000 seeds. So it tells you how much that is. That's quite a bit. Tobacco was, in its earlier days, believed to be a cure-all type of thing. It was used to dress wounds, as well as a mild form of a painkiller. And chewing tobacco was actually believed to relieve pain of toothaches. And I don't know if anybody's ever had a bee sting, but when I was younger, my parents used to put tobacco and pulls the poison out of a bee sting. Anybody's ever done that before? Probably not. Okay, and my next point, how is tobacco grown? It's not too difficult. The plants require a little extra care at the beginning because tobacco seeds are very small. You'll need to keep them covered up and indoors for the first 8 to 10 days so the seeds start to germinate. Start them about 5 weeks before the final frost and use a seed tray with a soil mixture of half potting soil and half peat humus. Peat humus, which is a type of humus that results from the decomposition of plant material under conditions of excessive moisture or air submerged in water. Sprinkle the seeds evenly over the soil, moistening the soil first without covering them up since they will need a lot of light. Next, place them in a cupboard having a constant temperature of about 70 to 80 degrees. And after about 8 to 10 days, you should start to see the seeds sprout. Also, be sure that they're thoroughly cultivated and fertilized soil. The soil is fully cultivated and fertilized, excuse me. If your soil is full of clay, you'll need to add some peat moss. Keep plants spaced about 2 feet apart and give them a lot of water since tobacco plants are always thirsty. They do best also if there's high concentration of nitrogen and potash in the soil, and this can be found or easily used if you put wood planting or charcoal grill ashes in your soil while you're trying to grow. And next, we'll talk a little bit about how tobacco is harvested. According to that website in the Brown Library Archives, the leaves begin to turn yellow, usually means that the plant is about ready to be picked. Tobacco is either harvested by hand or it can be harvested by a machine. Tobacco that is harvested by hand is either primed or stalk cut. Bright leaf tobacco that is hand harvested is primed, and priming involves picking leaves as they ripen. Leaves ripen and are harvested from the bottom of the stalk upward. Priming requires several harvests because the leaves ripen at different rates. Some growers use a pre-harvest chemical which causes the leaves to turn yellow a little prematurely so we can harvest their crops sooner. For my next point, I'd like to talk about some of the possible health risks that are obvious that use of this plant may impose. According to the Center for Disease Control, or the CDC, the adverse health effects from smoking cigarettes account for an estimated 443,000 deaths, or nearly 1 in every 5 deaths each year in the United States. More deaths are caused each year by tobacco use than HIV, illegal drug use, alcohol use, motor vehicle injuries, suicides, and murders combined. So it tells you a little bit about just how bad tobacco is for you. Some quick facts. Got here, 90% of all lung cancer deaths are smoking causes approximately 90% of all lung cancer deaths in men, 80% of all lung cancer deaths in women, 90% of deaths from chronic obstructive lung disease. And also when compared with non-smokers, smoking increases the risk of coronary heart disease by 2 to 4 times, stroke by 2 to 4 times, men developing lung cancer by 23 times, and women developing lung cancer by 13 times. And also dying from chronic obstructive lung disease by 12 to 13 times. That's quite a bit. And that's pretty much